got a camera older than sin. Clicks it on and the show begins.
Clicks it on and the show.
Hello.
Yeah.
Let me get this turned off here. There we go. All right. Welcome everybody to another fun-filled week of Grumpy's Coffee Shop.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so let me start out. We'll ask you guys how you're doing, and we'll say hi to the audience. Art, how's it going with you today?
It's going good. Just worked 9 hours today. So, but the weather has changed. It started off, it was nice. We got up to 70. When I got out to my car, it was cloudy and windy, and it looks like it's going to rain. Saw some ominous clouds come in. Tomorrow, the high will be in the mid 40s, and then snow. We just got a winter storm warning. And Wednesday, we're going to have a high in the low 30s with the snow possibly Wednesday night. Yeah. But we need the moisture. It's dry as bone.
Yeah, it's going to dry out here pretty quick. I mean, we had rain for like a week and a half, and then it's been like today was windy, and it was right at 79 degrees was the high today. So, all right, cool. Dominic, how's it down under?
Hello to everybody in the chat. Hello, Joe, Grant, and everybody on the panel. We've gone from pretty much 80s, 81, 82, down into the high 50s now, and I think autumn is finally here, which I'm not really excited about.
You don't sound excited, yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, how's it going in your part of the world, Charles?
It's all right. The weather was really nice and moderate today. We've had some crazy winds, but they were kind of warm. They didn't really cool the place down. Gonna hit 80 tomorrow, but then we're gonna have a bunch of thunderstorms, and that's just gonna cool everything right back down by Wednesday.
Right. Yeah. It's we have. It's going to be 80 here tomorrow. Hopefully, it's no wind. Today it was 79, and we had wind blowing. Yeah, it was pretty strong going up the turnpike, up the interstate there. So yeah, it was. It we were back and forth. Of course, my son doesn't drive worth a shit, anyways. But that's besides the point. I told him today he was driving as bad as his grandpa was, because yesterday we went to lunch and he was telling me about how his grandpa scared the hell out of him. Well, today he did exactly what he said his grandpa did yesterday. And I said, I don't want to hear you talk about your grandpa. I said, hell, you drive like he does. I said, I'm going to start calling you grandpa from now on. And I'll bite me, Dad. I ain't killed you yet. I said, yeah, but you're sure trying like hell to do it. I said, I'm just letting you know.
Even drama queens need a complete breakfast.
Exactly, yeah. So, anyways, hey, let me say hi to the people in the chat. Let me start out here at the top, which is always the best place to start. We got Grant. Hello, mate. We got Steve Janess. We got Jody, Drone Shots USA, Captain Joe. We got
Uncle Bill is in the chat.
Uncle Bill.
Yeah.
Uncle Bill's in the chat. All right.
Is he going to join us tonight?
Well, I thought I sent him the link.
Oh,
well. Yeah, I know I sent him the link. Oh,
hey, we got Paco.
Oh, hello, Paco. Yeah. So, did I miss anybody? Let's see.
We got Charles.
Oh, there's
in the chat.
There he is, right there.
There he is, Uncle Bill.
Hi,
hey, Bill.
Hi, yay.
Hey, Charles, what's going on? Hi, Dominic.
Good evening.
Articus and Lloyd. Our names kind of make sense. Uncle Bill doesn't really, but it's at least it's. And Charles is Chaz, and Dominic is that's the name of his channel's Northside Hawk, and Lloyd, he's pretty grumpy, so that makes a lot of sense. And then you got Articus. What is that? Did you ever tell me what that was? I think I've asked you, and I think you just put
Oh,
me off like in some other direction. What is Articus from?
well, for a short period, I was going as Articus Gordon, kind of like Artemis Gordon. You know, I put
Artemis
that, and yeah, I was being stalked by somebody on Instagram, and I decided, you know what, I'll make myself anonymous. I pulled all my photos and only used,
Oh, you mean Articumus?
yeah.
Just make up your own one, Articumus,
Instead of Arthur
anonymous.
Carlson, you know, and I went to Articus.
Well, I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. I just was curious, where it came from.
It's a takeoff of Artemis Gordon from the Wild
Yeah.
Wild West.
And,
well, that's where that
Artemis
name's
was
from.
taller.
I couldn't. All right, I was going to ask you that. I knew it, but I couldn't remember where.
You're more like that little guy that was always attacking Artemis.
yeah,
Dr. Lovelace.
Yeah,
Dr. Lovelace. There you go, doctor Lovelace. Yeah,
you are like Dr.
And
I can see you just all of a sudden getting up and having big spider legs and like that.
Yeah. And wasn't he the same actor that played in Star Trek?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the actor's name?
I think it was.
I think he kind of resembled the bad guy from Fifth Element. But he's a pretty well-known actor too, and I couldn't tell you who it is, even though I have purchased the recording.
I'd have to go back and look now. It's been so long since I've watched that. But
I really like that movie, and I mean, what is it? Bruce Willis when he's still in his mind.
Oh yeah, The Fifth Element and what the hell's his name?
And the real reason I bought it. What's her name, Art?
I can't remember the gal's name.
She was like the queen of sci-fi for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What is her name? Speaking of sci-fi,
Glenn Thunderbird 6.
Hey, Glenn, good seeing you, mate.
Yeah, you're not referring to Julie Newmar, are you?
No, but she's
no.
lovely too. But no, we're talking about The Fifth Element.
I was watching some old shows last night.
The girl in The Fifth Element is Mila Jovovich.
There you go, Mila. Yeah.
Mila.
Yeah, a young Mila.
Yeah.
Not that the old one looks so terrible either. She's also charming.
Let me see if I
don't want to sound like a sexist. She's a charming woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's still sexist because it said woman. You can't.
We can't. Yeah.
She could be a she, they, raffle.
Yeah, we can't assume anything here.
Yeah.
Feline. Who knows? Thunderbird 6. Hi, just popped in to say I'm not here. Oh, we'll miss you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You tease.
I guess there's going to be another Star Wars movie coming out soon.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Gotta drag every shekel you can out of that franchise, baby. That's okay. I'll watch it. I even like the bad ones. I do. I mean, they're a romp. They're always a romp. They're entertaining. There's great effects. There's sometimes better than other times dialogue. So but they're still fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not science fiction anyway. That's science fantasy, but it's fun. I'll watch it.
Well,
everybody. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, please.
Mine was
I didn't like when they
important.
killed Han Solo. Okay, but go ahead, please continue.
Yeah, I didn't either. But that was his choice. That's what he wanted.
Yeah,
I didn't like that either.
Because he wasn't sure he was going to come back.
Who is this Han Solo? Because that's not the Han Solo I remember.
Yeah.
He would. I decide to sacrifice himself. Nah, not like that.
Well, Harrison Ford
Not stand there and
wanted
take a knife.
Yeah,
or
Harrison
whatever.
Ford had been wanting the character killed off for 30 years.
Hey, Mark.
He was meant to die heroically, not like that. It's too much.
Yeah.
crap.
Well, I was watching this weekend. I was bored,
They
and
would say that.
on Amazon Prime, the old Flash Gordon with Buster Crabbe, the old serial.
Right movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from the 30s. at the same time, I had another one pop up, and I'd forgot about it. It was when I was a,
Well, and
it was
that's what's
called.
funny. The effects in that were so juvenile, and
Oh my God!
the clear racism with the Asian.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
but which is fine. Again, who cares? At the time, they
It
were
was
enemies. So,
it was really a
but
big
people
thing.
said even people back then knew that this looks ridiculous, but they
Yeah.
weren't looking at it for that. It's like when you go to a play. The stage sets don't have to look like you're actually out in the woods.
Right. Yeah.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, some stage hand artist painted the tree and then the cardboard bush that's in front of it, or what?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's not it. You're watching it for the story. For the
Story.
actual,
Yeah.
right,
Exactly.
for the actual
Yeah.
show itself, the acting, the things that the people that are presenting it to you can actually control, which is
Yeah.
their expression, their voice, their acting, their movements. And that's what and if they're good, you zone right in on that. And if they suck,
Well,
you start making fun of the scenery.
yeah. Exactly. Well, another show popped up in my feed, and it's called Steve Canyon.
Is it?
And
What is it?
Steve Canyon.
Oh
I like
yeah,
Harry.
that was a cartoon too, I believe.
It
Steve.
was a cartoon,
yeah.
comic book. Yeah, I actually, when I was one of the earliest cards I ever remember getting was a Steve Canyon birthday card, and it had a little paper plane that came with it or something.
So this
And
came after they invented the press, then.
yeah, this is after they invented the press.
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah, Mr. Gutenberg.
And
he
my
was
my
something
sister
that.
took that,
Yeah,
took all of my
Steve's
from
brother.
the time I was a year old until I was, I don't know, 8, I think. All my birthday cards and Christmas cards, and cut them out and made me an album out of them, and that was one of them that was in there. Well,
Cool.
anyways, this pops up on my feed. My older
Steve
sister
Canyon
made
was
this
gay,
for
by
me,
the way, but go ahead.
and so I was watching it, and it was like the 3rd episode, and there was this gal that they ended up dating in the show. It's they're 30-minute shows, so there wasn't a lot to go on. But anyways,
But you
and
can
I
get a
thought,
lot
boy,
done dating in 30 minutes.
yeah, well, she was a real cutie, and she was a real firecracker too. She was a real spitfire. But then I saw at the end the credits as they rolled through. It was Marion Ross when she was about 20 years old.
Oh,
Wow.
Marion Ross was beautiful when she was
Yeah.
young.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I've
She
seen her
was
when
a
she was
hottie,
young.
and she was.
Yes, sir.
I didn't even recognize her. It didn't look anything like Mrs. Cunningham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Don't be mean now. Mrs.
Arthur.
Cunningham was an attractive middle-aged woman.
She was, yeah, for her, she was a very
Let her hair
attractive middle-aged
down
woman.
and put the makeup on
But
and the
boy, in this show,
stilettos and the.
of course, her hair was dark, it was black, and she just was,
There
it
weren't
was
a lot of
dark, but
roles for homely women back then.
there
Sorry.
weren't, no.
No,
Yeah.
there
But
weren't.
yeah, she was a real
Well, except
firecracker
for
in that
Wizard
one.
of Oz.
Yeah, well,
What are you talking
there
about?
was.
One woman, the witch?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, but she was beautiful
Oh,
on the inside.
by the way, we're
Not the
still
witch.
live.
The actress.
Yes,
Huh?
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like
No
last week.
complaints.
Mhm.
I
It's
don't
been
know
fine.
what
Mine
the
was
hell was
fine.
going on.
Mine
Yeah,
was fine
that's right.
yesterday.
Yours was fine, except
Saturday.
Thursday night show was. We had the same problem with
We
Thursday
had the
night.
same problem on Thursday night that we did on my show.
Hey, the internet is a big and massive thing, and things affect it. You know what I mean? Between
Yep.
you and whatever hub between you and their servers are, something got.
Yep.
Yeah,
Might not
yeah.
even been them. Could have been an outage between you and them somewhere, and it just was hitting overloaded.
The systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relays, not relays.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck they're servers. To
The
get
servers,
to
yeah.
get, to get to them, to connect to them over the internet.
Yeah.
Don't
Mhm.
forget you are
So,
connected to them,
Yep.
and
yes.
and it's not all satellite either. Who's in the chat? Captain Joe,
Yeah.
Joe, yeah.
Brian,
And
Bent rail. Bent
Trail.
rail.
Ben Trail.
I said bent rail. That's what I said. Bent rail.
Ben Rail.
I almost said it wrong because I got to think of what you say, and like, no, it's bent rail.
Well, he could be Ben Trail. I mean, that sounds like another. That's like Steve Canyon.
That's true. That's true.
I didn't read Steve Canyon. You know why I barely remember it? Because I remember not liking it. It came to me as you were talking. I thought it was.
Yeah, it was boring. It was about the Air
Yeah.
Force, and
No,
he got sent to
I
he
like
got
the Air
sent a lot of temporary duties, and I mean they were flying F-102, so
Oh,
Yeah, but I like the Air
Hey,
Force, as a
Brian.
kid, so I don't think that was it.
Yeah.
No, I was into planes and
Mm.
flying
Right.
things. I
Right.
thought they were
planes,
awesome.
trains, and automobiles.
And World War II history.
Yeah.
and-
Well, I mean, hell, it was in the 50s, so I think it started in 54 and ran through 59. So I was just barely old enough to even see it.
Wait, when were you born?
56. So I got to see the last couple of years of it.
Oh,
Ah,
when you were
But
2
I
and
would
4
have only
years
been
old?
2 or 3, 4 years old. Yeah.
yeah.
No, you
Mhm.
saw
I can
reruns.
remember.
Don't
I
even
can
kid-
remember back as far as I
don't
was
even kid
3.
yourself. You saw reruns just like I did. Get the
Mhm.
hell out of
I probably did. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Hello,
hey,
Ron.
I was
Hey,
born in
Ron.
'61. And I remember the Kennedy
Hi,
assassination
Rod.
in '63.
Yeah,
The
there
fuck
it
Oh,
is.
I do
do.
remember the Kennedy
No, I
assassination.
don't. I was 2 years old.
Yeah.
That's
I,
my
I
point.
I
was.
actually remember it.
Mhm.
Best
Yep.
I can say is I was
Vaguely.
alive when it happened. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It affected generations around me and me.
Yes.
Yeah. I was an
Yeah.
American citizen.
And when they fired off the guns in for his 21 gun salute on the day of his funeral,
Mm.
they fired off some big guns there in Denver, and we could hear them going off. They synchronized them across the state. Some of the big cities synchronized them. So as they were going off there, they were going. You'd open up your door and you could hear them firing off these big
Hi, Trevor.
long guns that they were shooting wherever they were at. From where I was at. But yeah, I remember, and they may have done it in several
You know
places
what though?
around the city.
That's nothing compared to what would happen if the president was tragically his life ended.
Yeah.
So when it happens, in his sleep when he's 97, by the way, which is what I think is going to happen.
Right.
The biggest display, the best, never,
Oh, yeah.
never before
The
has the world
biggest. It's
seen.
gonna be the best, the world's greatest funeral.
Yeah.
The guns are going to be so
president we've ever
powerful,
seen.
they're going to hit Iran from New Jersey.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some people say it's going to be awesome. It'll be the best.
Matter of fact, it's gonna make, when it's done and over with, it's gonna make even Chuck Norris fear in his grave.
Ah.
No, he wouldn't say that.
No, he wouldn't.
No, he
No.
wouldn't. He wouldn't say
He wouldn't.
all these
No.
other things we said he'd probably say, but he wouldn't say that.
He would. Yeah, he wouldn't say that.
Mhm.
But I'm just giving you an example how powerful
I think
a
he's
man
great.
is.
I think he's effing hysterical.
I do too. I mean,
The
he's
most
enough
honest
to even
man
scare
they've ever.
Chuck
I mean, they
Norris.
talk about his character and this and that. There's nothing dishonest about him because it comes right out of his mouth. Whatever he's thinking, he just
Yeah, there's
says it.
times I wish he was a little more dishonest and would
He's
lie
not a
to us
secret
sometimes,
keeper.
but yeah. No.
Although,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're smart enough not to answer some of the questions. Go, why would I tell? They said, "Are you planning on going back in again?" Why would I tell a reporter if I was? What's the matter with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the matter for you?
What's the matter for you, dumbasses? Anyway, God bless
Yeah.
all
There,
them
some
and
of
the
them ask
troops.
really stupid questions, and he'll
God
tell them that
God
has
bless
got
the
to be the
future
dumbest
generations.
question I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I think the only other president I can think of that argued with the press like that would have been Nixon. Nixon and Agnew both.
Yeah.
They had ongoing fights with the press every
Oh,
single year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
then they were crooks.
Was Nixon
compared to what we have
was
now?
he a
They were
crook
just.
or was he a dirty politician? I don't think he was a crook.
I don't think
He
he was
said
a crook.
He didn't take money. He didn't. That's when he said, "I am
No.
not a crook." He didn't lie.
That's true. He wasn't.
He
And
didn't
he
steal
might have-
anything.
I'm not even sure he was a dirty politician, especially compared to what we've had. in the last few
Sanctioning the
years.
break-in into your opponent's headquarters and stealing their data.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's
Yeah, but when you
that's
think what
bad
the last,
behavior.
well, it is. He shouldn't have lied about it.
Liddy
He
this
shoulda-
day claims he knew nothing about it. By the way,
Yeah.
he never scapegoated the president. He took it like a man. God
Yep.
bless.
Yeah.
I don't believe him. Well, maybe I do. Who the hell knows?
Who knows?
I'll tell you, these aides, they think they're more powerful than they are. They're not elected.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's right. Hey, we got Lon Denard.
Yep. We got a hot rod. Hey, Rod.
Hi, Lon. Jackson.
Cine SHLR 7.7 inch. Okay. He has a 737 to fly now in his fleet. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Cine SHLR 7. Okay. All right. Yeah,
That's pretty
Cine puts
good.
out some good stuff. I'm reading what Rodney's put up there. You know, Hot Rod.
737 to fly now in my fleet. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
So, oh, it looks like Trevor's here too. Hey, Trevor. Hey,
Yeah.
Mark. Got to say
Yep.
hi to you guys when you popped in. So,
No muss, no
Trevor.
fuss.
do what?
No muss, no fuss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah. I went to today. We went up to
we're just going to
Outback
throw
Steakhouse.
random phrases out there. I'm sorry. Please continue, Lloyd.
Oh, I was just telling what I did today. We went up to Tulsa, and what Rod put up there reminded me. We went to the hobby town today while we were up there in Tulsa. James
Yeah.
had a doctor's appointment, so
Is it
we went
nice?
in there. That's nice, but I mean, Jesus, they're proud of their damn vehicles when I can buy some of those same ones for half that price on Amazon. So,
Mhm.
now, mind you, I can always go up there to get parts if I need them right away. But
Mhm.
it's like, I don't, I don't.
You're paying to support the local business and get local support, which is always
Yeah.
nice. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you get a
well,
relationship with guys like that, you'll end up with discounts on certain days
oh
and
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
else. You know, I mean, the hobby stores when I went to, I went to them for RC. That's the
right. That's
first.
what we were up there. That's what I was looking at was RCs.
They have them all
I thought
hanging,
about
hanging
getting a
from the ceiling and
helicopter.
stuff. Yeah.
The one helicopter they had was like $109, and the
Hmm.
damn thing was about this big.
Yeah.
Now it was only a two prop. It wasn't one of those four props that counterpose each other. You know, has the two layers of like the toy ones that they have. But
Yeah.
still, I'm not paying $109 for that when I can buy the same thing for half that price. You know, so I didn't get it. And
Mm.
what I did end up getting was 24 wooden cigar boxes.
Why not?
Why
You
not?
know,
We were so into going. This is what kind of a geeky, nerdy weirdo I am. Okay, because I wasn't old enough to drive yet. You know, so we had
right?
bikes. We had bikes. Although at least once, I walked there. I used to love to go to this hobby shop so much. It was kind of like a hangout. Some of us actually
Yeah.
got kicked out for just hanging out too much in.
Yeah,
Mm.
But
we
it
had
was a
one like that. Yeah.
huge wonderland of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Same here.
I did have to go there to shop too because I was actually doing stuff. And
Mhm.
Right.
it was actually I lived in Hasbrook Heights. Next town over is Woodridge, and then Moonachie, East Rutherford. I think it was in East Rutherford.
Mm.
I used to go that far just to
Oh
go
wow.
to the hobby shop to get, and sometimes
Yeah.
I'd walk. Yeah, it was a
We
hike.
used to have one down there in what was called Westminster Plaza Shopping Center, and they had a slot car track. And of
Yep.
course, you go down there to get all your slot car parts, your different,
Mm.
for whether they were the little ones. They had the full size slot
Right.
car,
Yep.
and my uncle had given me his full size ones, but he didn't have all the track, so he bought me a brand new miniature. The little uh Tyco,
HO,
not
ty-
the little
they're-
HO gauge. Yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah,
bought
the
me a
little
full
ones. I
set of
had those.
the
We
little
we
ones.
all
Yeah,
had those when we were
but
kids.
he had some of the big ones, so
Yeah,
we'd get them cleaned up, and then we'd go over there and race on their track, and
Mhm.
we'd buy parts and motors for them and stuff like that. So yeah,
there was a
Mm.
slot car track in my town when I was growing up, and I never got inside of it to fuck around. Always wanted to. I remember looking at it through the window and seeing the cars
yeah,
going around, but they weren't. They were like this. They were 20s,
yeah.
maybe.
That's
They
they
were
were
big. And look fun.
these were
Look
about
great.
yeah. I don't remember they might have been bigger. I don't know,
Yeah, remote
but
control blew those guys out of the water. Good remote
oh
control
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
pricing. They're bringing it
Mhm.
But
to the normal people.
But yeah, they used to have competitions down there, and you could go down there and win prizes. And so we'd go down there every couple of weeks, and you know, we used sometimes we'd ride our bikes over there. Most of the time, we had to get somebody because it was quite a ways from where we all lived from our neighborhood. So, uh,
Yeah.
we usually got our parents when they were doing their shopping, they'd drop us off there for the afternoon, and they'd go do all their business and then come pick us up, basically babysitters. And so,
Tell my mom, you got to turn the car over to Carlos over there. I just lost it betting on the track here.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, we used to do that. That was a lot of fun. So.
I might have been in it once because I'm remembering something about it. So I think maybe my dad, after my parents were separated, he'd come pick us up and take us. But I think he might have brought us there once, but I don't remember running the cars. I do remember this place was big enough. It also had a pool, and it had radio controlled boats in it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, they were
Wow,
like
nice.
sailboats. They weren't fast.
Fancy schmancy.
Right.
They weren't fast, but I do remember that, and I remember him letting me do that, and I think that was way cheaper than
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
than paying to run the cars.
Mm.
Plus,
Right,
you know
yeah.
what? This is towards the tail end of it too, because like I said, it was you're what, a couple of years older than me, so it was dying off.
Yeah.
towards- It was a phase, a fad
Right, right.
that got
Mhm.
destroyed by advancing technology.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean it wasn't fun.
So,
Like bowling.
are you 60? You are 65 now, or you?
I'm 65
66.
as of April 20 last
Oh
April.
yeah, 65.
That's
Yeah.
right. I thought we wished you happy birthday, but then I forgot.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a couple weeks ago.
You're what,
Yeah.
67, right?
What?
What are you?
69. I'll be 70
69.
in September. Yeah, I'll
The
be 70 in
magical age.
September.
Summer of 69.
Yeah.
Right.
the
So the
magical
cars,
year.
those track places, they were a lot more. There was probably two of them in my town at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're all over.
Yeah, because and during that time period, they were moving from the big slots to the HOs scales,
Right.
and
Yeah.
a lot of places were, which is the
I
thing
remember-
about an HO is you could set it up in your house and
I remember my parents getting us one for Christmas one year, and it was just an oval. It was just a fucking oval.
Oh, yeah,
Was it
yeah.
a figure eight? Might have been just an oval, I think. Or was the train track an oval? The train track was just an oval.
right.
Yeah.
But the cars did cross over. Okay, there was like
Yeah.
pylons
Right. Yeah.
go around.
That would be
yeah.
a
That was
figure
a
eight.
beginner set, you know what I mean? And we were told, do not touch that.
And
They had to
what
be there.
happened, Bill?
They had to be there, because it was like $20 or whatever it was back then in the early
Right. Yeah.
70s.
No, well, I
You
got
know.
mine. Me and my buddies would get together and we'd put our sets together and make these humongous tracks.
Well, eventually
all-
we put it together. It was worth the beating. You know what I mean? When she was asleep
Yeah.
and he was at work, we'd put it together and play with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
But you're gonna break it. So what's the point of having it?
and we use mainly Revels rather than Tycos because Tycos had the pancake engine. Revels had the rotary style rather than the flat pancake.
Ah, okay.
And they were a little less expensive and a lot easier to repair. You could swap out a motor and you could just swap out just the rotor in it. Yeah.
Well, no, it was an open motor. You were that
Yeah.
was,
Right. Yeah. You were intended to.
No,
but-
you could replace the armature. I mean,
Armature, that's what I
that
was
would
trying to
rarely
think
go bad though. But you could do because you would take it apart and clean it out because you would get
Right.
dust,
You take it apart
Yeah.
and clean it
fuzz
out.
inside
Yeah.
of there and everything, and then put it back together. So you learned a little bit too. You learned about transmissions or gearing and how it works.
Yeah.
Right.
and electric
Yeah. Mhm.
motors, and you actually learned a couple of things, which was cool. Which was cool.
Yeah.
And I'm conflating. I'm going to use a lawn word. I'm conflating stories. I did have that track, but I also had another one that was much bigger, but it was different. It wasn't electric. It was I don't remember what they were called.
Oh, it was like a spring in it.
Well, you had to take the car and put it on this winder, basically, which had a handle on the side. You would crank the shit out of it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, really, really, really crank, and then hold the
Right.
wheels and put it down on the track, and the thing would,
Right.
and it would go for a few, go
Oh
pretty long
yeah,
time. They were pretty cool. And that was the one
Yeah.
that they said, don't touch this, because it was 1999, which I guess was a lot then. And
yeah.
I remember it was getting crazy. It was like spring. We still had never played with our best toy. So she went to the store, I think, and it was just the three of us. So we weren't allowed to be outside because, God forbid. Anyway, so we were in there playing together. We put it together, and Jimmy was the lookout. And she's coming up the stairs. She's coming up, and ran in through the bedroom door and just plowed right through the track and broke them like that. They couldn't be put back together again. We were going to be like pristine, putting it all back together, the tape and all that stuff, like we never touched the damn thing. So we didn't play with it for a long time after that. And I think eventually they said, hey, how come you don't play with your toy? You can play with it now. You've had it long enough. And they're like, finally they figured it out. It was broken. We got whooped on. We got whooped on for that. It's like, what the fuck? It's our toy. Let us break it.
Yeah.
Can't play with it anymore. That's our punishment, right?
Well, I used to collect Hot Wheels, or not Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels, yeah, I had those too.
Yeah. I got Matchbox, and
Matchbox.
they were places. What we do a lot of times is we'd build up dirt piles and stuff like that, and then we'd have races with them, see how far we could get them to go, because like our houses were all set up on terraces, and like between our house and the neighbor below us, there's this walkway, and then another walkway you went down, and you couldn't sling them, you just had to push them and then let them travel on their own.
The gravity.
Just
gravity and slope. And depending on the vehicle, because some of them were a little bouncier.
Some of them little bastards would go. Some of them they were
going, bouncing around because they're going down the pavement.
Yeah.
We did that. We used to do jumps with them. Actually, because we were stuck in the bedroom so much. And I like Johnny Lightnings, by the way. Be clear.
Right.
They didn't mention Johnny Lightnings.
No, I didn't.
The Johnny Lightnings was slightly heavier, I believe, because even though they were the same scale, same size, but I thought they were kind of cooler. And also they had a Batmobile, and also, which I had.
Yes.
We used to play crack up derby with them. It was a game where we would take the two of them, we'd go slam them into each other as hard as we could.
Yep.
And whoever ended up on their tires was the winner. Sometimes it takes 6-7 times before somebody won, but that's what we did with them. And the Matchboxes or the Hot Wheels, the rivets would give way eventually, and their bodies would start to come off.
Right. Yeah. I had, like I said, my sister started me with Matchbox, got me my first ones. This was back when Lindsay still owned them, when they were the original makers of them. And we used to do, and of course I ended up getting a track. Matchbox did make a plastic track like Hot Wheels did.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't as sophisticated, because their stuff.
Well, they weren't as fast. You know what I mean? No, they weren't. The whole idea was it had that really super thin axle, and they were just fast, and you'd make.
They had that wire axle compared to the steel rods with the rivets on the end.
It just they were just faster, and that was the whole idea.
They were.
You'd have a loop track, have a jump track. Right. Used your imagination. You had fun with it. Same thing with trains. People are like, okay, I watched your train go around a couple of times. Now what do we do? Well, no,
exactly.
That's not how we lived back then. You look at it, you imagine a town. You start to build a town. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I got my grandfather's train set. My grandfather had the downtown Denver switch yard, all set up, and these weren't HO. These were the O size, and it wasn't the Lionel with the 3 tracks. It was the American Flyer that had 2 tracks. And I've still got the train cars. But when he passed away, they gave it to,
there was HO, there was N scale, M scale, O scale. I can't remember now.
And HO.
The N's were the tiny ones. You remember the N's?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got a couple still
tiny. I mean, just like Matchbox.
Little bitty things. Yeah. Yeah. There was N, H, O, and then G was the big one.
Yeah.
G was the big one. Right. That's what I thought. Yeah.
I've got one. I think I've still got one of those up in the attic that we used to put around the Christmas tree.
It's been a long time since I
Cool.
gave a shit.
And yeah,
American Flyer was S scale. Ah, okay.
it was what?
Shit. S scale.
Hey, Steve.
Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah, I guess that would make sense because. Yeah, because they were a little. They were. I don't know.
They have
were
a
bigger
Z
than
scale
HO.
now. How about that?
Yeah.
G, yeah, G scale is the.
Z is the tiniest.
Oh,
Z is
the
one
Yeah.
tiny one. Yeah.
220th.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Where N scale is 1/160th.
Mm-hmm.
And they were tiny.
There was a hobby store on South Broadway here in Denver that had a great big train track that ran all through the store.
Yeah.
And
We had something like that too.
Gary Coleman used to work there
Oh,
at one time.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're talking about model trains on tracks, O is actually they have a G scale, but that's often used for garden railways for outdoor layouts.
Right.
That's just rugged for children.
Right.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, if
what-
you were thinking of a nice large train, it's at least an S, which is 1/64th, known for
Okay.
American vintage flyer
Mm.
trains,
Yeah,
larger
double
than
one.
HO, offering more detail. But the O scale is the traditional, like the original.
Yeah, because there was Hornby. We had FX, and we also had Scalextrics as well, and that was a sort of what do you call that? You know,
Round oval
slot car racing. Yeah,
slot car
Really good.
racing. Yeah, that's when.
Yeah.
O scale is traditional Lionel size. So those are the ones you see in the old movies and like that.
Okay, that's O scale. All right.
Oh, that's big. O scale.
Yeah.
It's like O face. Oh,
yeah.
Mhm.
Same as the G scale. You got to find a spot for that.
you gotta find a spot for that. Ah!
Brenda! Hey, Brenda!
Hello, Brenda.
Wait,
Brenda!
Hey, Brenda.
I'm gonna give Brenda her cheer, but I mean that was. Where's the sound effect for laughing? Oh, that you deserve credit for that one. I can't remember
Didn't
the
hear
joke
it.
now. It's already gone. Oh well, Brenda.
Well, Bachman has one, and they call that larger. They just call it a large scale. But which is the kind we had under. It was big enough to, the baby Muppets that you got at McDonald's, about this tall. We
Yeah.
could
No,
put
I
them
never
in
did
the.
that. Maybe you.
Yeah,
did.
we'd put them in the train cars, and they'd ride around underneath the train, underneath the tree.
Oh, that's so fun. Didn't you have to buy a Happy Meal to get those things?
Yeah.
Michael!
Well, actually, no, they were.
Look at Michael.
I don't know if because Happy Meals had the little bitty ones. These were about.
Oh, different
We're about this
promotions over
tall.
the years. They had more than
Yeah.
just the little garbage throwaways. When they were doing a
Right, yeah.
promotion, money came in from an outside source, so they actually
Yeah.
gave
Okay.
better prizes and promoted the crap out of it to get everybody to bring their little
Mm-hmm.
darlings down for a really
Yeah. And
salty, unhealthy
and
meal.
we'd buy the Happy Meal, and
Yeah, I bet
Uh,
you did.
and we'd be happy.
and we'd be happy. Yeah.
Mm.
Except now they put apple slices in it. What the? Who are you kidding? Still sitting next to a hamburger and fries, you dum dum.
Bent Rail says he spent 48 years working with a life size scale for trains. Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of big.
Yeah, they're kind of.
Yeah, they're big. Yeah.
Yeah, they're 1-to-1 scale.
1-to-1.
Yeah, 1-to-1.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Bent rail.
Yeah. Bent Rail. That
Now I
kind of
understand
gets.
his name.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a railroad museum. Remember that, Lloyd? Out there on, what was it? 44th Avenue. Out going
Yeah.
towards
Yeah.
Gold.
Yeah. I remember it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They had a locomotive. They had a couple that were plows for up in the mountains. The one with
Right.
and then they had one that had the blades on it that would blow the snow out.
Snow off the
It had
tracks.
big
Yeah.
blade.
When you
It
say
would-
plows, they were snow plows.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah.
Wasn't some farmer bought an old train and decided to use it in the field?
No.
Put some-
Now there was a guy in Denver, and he was an engineer, not a train engineer. He was just an actual mechanical engineer, and he built trains. And he built them in his basement, and then he'd have to take out the window base to take them out because the engine was like 4.5 to 6 foot long. I mean, the wheels on them were that big, and they were everything in them was to scale. And
Wow.
he milled all of the he did all the mill work on it. And
Mhm.
I still had a book because we went, I don't know, Boy Scouts or somebody there in Denver. We went to his house, and he had like a train room downstairs, where he showed off of his different ones. And he'd take some of them out. He'd build them for collectors, and stuff like that.
Cool.
But his stuff was really cool. I mean, those were huge.
Being able to get little steam motors to work, I've seen little V8,
Yeah.
tiny V8 engines that actually work like real V8 to scale and like that. That always intrigued my childhood, my imagination.
Yeah.
I was one of those kids that took everything apart, to see how it works.
My cousin had one of those old steam engines, and
Yeah.
you'd
Mhm.
heat up I don't even remember how we did it, but we could only do it with adult supervision because
Mm.
didn't want it blowing up. Back in those days, they didn't have all the safety features that they do now, and
Yeah.
they were like some of the original ones.
They
They'd
had a
blow up
little
if you
burner underneath
Yeah.
that would heat up the water and the
the
boiler.
water and boil it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It would make steam. Steam would
Then
be the
make
result.
steam. Yeah.
Steam would be the result. That would be, and it would expand.
Oh, speaking of steam
Or
engines,
it cause
the
pistons to
Stanley
move out of their
Hotel,
way.
there in Colorado.
Yeah. Are they steamed about
It was
something?
well, no, but the Stanley steamer that he built that hotel,
Yep.
Okay.
and
There's Johnny.
yeah, he built that. He built the Stanley Hotel, and
Yep.
Stanley steamer was a pretty decent car.
Yep.
For what it did.
I
Really?
believe
Did you
Jay
enjoy it?
Leno owns one.
I liked riding in it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
after the ride, you
The
had
rumble
black-
seat
you
was
had
always.
blackface.
I loved the rumble seat. That was the funnest part. Riding in the back. Of the
after
rumble
each
seat,
ride, you'd have blackface. You'd be wiping the coal off and like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was
yeah,
allowable back then.
It was allowable back then. Yeah, nobody thought anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right after we got through riding in the Stanley steamer, we'd go do our minstrel shows. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And don't
Along
confuse,
with
confuse
Jimmy
any of this
Kimmel.
with the Cleveland steamer, because that's not
Do
the
what?
same thing.
Yeah. The Cleveland steamer. Yeah.
The Cleveland
Yeah.
steamer. Yeah.
Yeah, don't confuse this with that. That's totally different
Mm-hmm.
operation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was just so wrong. I know.
Oh, that's just wrong. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, no, I like model stuff, scale stuff.
I do too. I do
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, now I did see today. We saw this damn thing had to be 4 foot long, at least 4 foot long, and it was about 3 foot high and at least 3 foot wide. And it was a model of the Millennium Falcon hanging from the
Ooh,
ceiling.
Yes.
Oh,
It was
cool.
actually a puzzle of the Millennium Falcon,
Oh,
but it was a 3-dimensional puzzle. And when you put it together, you got this huge thing that you could hang from your ceiling. Why? I
I've
don't
seen
know, but
those. I've seen those. They're cool.
mhm.
yeah, they had some cool shit there. I got to admit, they had some neat stuff there.
When you were a kid, did you like to take things? I know I did. Everything I own, I ended
Oh
up
hell
apart
yeah,
with it.
yeah. Me and my best friend, we used to take our radios apart, and
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
used
back-
to go out. I used to go out and screw around with the TVs Dad had because Dad did TV repair, after he got hurt and had to quit work. So they trained him how to repair TVs. So he always had TVs out there. So I was always out there screwing around with him, you know, stealing the tubes
I
to
got
try and
credit
make
for
something
fixing
out
a
of them.
radio when I was a kid, and it was probably the end of me. See, almost the end of me. It was a radio. It stopped working, and we had back then. It was the box handheld with an earplug.
Yeah,
And it was
yeah,
my
yeah.
grandfather's, and I opened it up just to take a look to see what I could find. And I just moved some capacitor. I just kind of pushed on them here and there,
DJ.
and then it started to work again. So it was probably just a bad solder joint, you know what I mean? And I just got lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they all
Yeah.
told me I was a
Mhm.
fucking genius. Oh, you look in the radio, you fixed it. So I just started to believe the hype, I had a bad plug. We had a 19-inch black and white TV in our room, which is pretty cool for back then.
Right.
And the plug was bad on it. It was breaking off. So I was like, well, I understand how this is working. The power goes through this metal and into the cord, back to the TV, and this is breaking off, and we push it in, it's not making contact. Okay. So I broke it off and I replaced it with a bobby pin. I shoved the bobby pin, and it should have worked, really, to be honest with you. But I shoved the bobby pin into the plug itself. Made sure the other end was bare, and that's what got shoved into the wall. Now, I'm not even sure if I even took the old piece off. I think I just put it like it was next to it, like it was gonna, because that would create pressure
Yeah,
inside the jack. I thought ahead on that. So as soon as I plugged it in, pop, sparks. I don't know if the TV worked again after that.
Yeah. What I didn't realize when I was screwing around with those TVs, we'd turn them in and turn them on and then shut them off, and we'd be over there trying to steal parts. I didn't realize you got to let capacitors dissipate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was damn lucky a few times.
Mhm. Yeah.
'cause I didn't understand anything about capacitors and dissipating. 'Cause those old vacuum tube TVs, they'll
Yep.
knock the shit out of you.
Yep.
I watched my dad get set on his ass a couple times from it. Damn it! I forgot
Hey,
the
look,
capacitor again.
It's an episode of Tool Time. Tim Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've whacked myself with electricity so many times. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
Not even funny.
Lord.
We got commercial wiring at the bowling center, so it's not 120. It's
3 5s.
There's 270. It's a double number. I forget what the lower number
Oh,
is. Anyway,
220.
anyway, I've replaced a lot of electrical stuff there, and one of the things
Right.
I do is the ceiling pan. We have the LCD panels, and I ended up replacing all of them eventually in the kitchen. But just being, if I turn off this breaker, the whole kitchen goes dark.
Yeah, you can't see. Yeah.
So I just got to be careful. That's all.
Yeah.
And I've done things like ground myself with both my elbows, because it's drop ceiling.
Right,
I
yeah,
go
yeah.
for the drop ceiling. So both my elbows are and it went straight across. That was exhilarating. But that's
Yeah.
you know what? The biggest shocks I think was 240 was when I was working on my well at my old house.
Yeah.
My last house.
Real voltage.
Yeah, I zapped myself a couple times with that. That sent me across the room.
Yeah.
The second time I was explaining to somebody how it happened, and I did it again right in front of them. So that was
I was running a phone line from my buddy at his house,
because I'm an idiot.
and I got up in the attic, ran it through, dropped it down. I went ahead and attached it before I put the box in there. I didn't even think about it. And he says, "Aren't you worried about getting shocked?" I said, "Hell, it's a phone line. It ain't going to hurt you." Of course, mind you, this was how they powered. This was this was the old dial up or the old analog style. And even the push button types they had a plug-in that made the lights glow on the Princess style phones and stuff.
So it was AC, not DC, is what you're trying to say. Because if it was DC, it wouldn't have been a deal.
Well, whatever was running through that phone line, it was enough to I didn't think anything about it, and I grabbed hold of both of them at the same time, and
it's too soon.
Woof.
yeah, it wasn't, but it was a very low voltage, but it was enough to be like, oh shit. And he goes, "What's the matter?" I said, "This damn thing just shocked the hell out of me." He goes, I said, "Just ignore what I said, You usually do. Why the hell are you listening to me now?
Mhm.
But yeah, he just laughed his ass off because I told him, yeah, it ain't gonna hurt you. It didn't hurt me, but boy, it sure made me. Matter of fact, today, James, that was part of the reason he was having problems driving this evening, is because he went up and had an EEG, where they put the 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 needles
Electrode.
into your, the
Oh yeah.
electrodes into you, and
Oh,
he says, "Damn, Dad, they shocked the hell out of me." I said, "Yeah, but at least if you could feel it, that meant they were working." He says, "Oh yeah, it was," and he comes out there in his arms, he's just shaking the hell out of me. He says, "God." And they told him the fire would finally leave in about an hour. And about an hour and a half later, he was finally better. But well, there for a little while, he was. All I could do was laugh at him.
you'll be like a pro.
270-volt lighting refers to specialized, often high-efficiency industrial or commercial LED systems, frequently labeled as 100 to 270 or 120 to 277, designed for high voltage units,
50 volts
often
DC.
often
Okay.
used to
Thank you, Trevor.
what?
50 volts DC is what telephone lines carry.
Okay. Often used to minimize voltage in long wire runs. So that's why commercial buildings have them.
Oh,
And
okay.
you have tons of things hooked up to the line over the course of it, broken up by breakers, of course, but long runs require this. So that's what I got zapped with. Was one actually ours are marked 120 277. Now that I see it. But anyway, I'm still here. I've been shocked too many times.
But
I used to do it on purpose because I'm an idiot. When I was a kid in high school, I used to actually think it was cool to take something metal in between my finger here,
right,
touch the plate, and then stick it into the outlet so that it would jump. Yeah, I used to do it science class. So, hey,
well,
this.
Yeah, if Lon is still in the chat, I don't know if he's still in the chat or not, but he worked on the same gun system I did, the M61A1. And those things, if I'm not mistaken, they had low amperage, they had milliamps, but they had something like 400 plus 430, I'm thinking 430 volts. And because
which
they
was
were
35.
electronically primed, but they were in milliamps, but whenever a new guy was testing it out, well, you grab hold of this ring here and you put this lead in here and you put
Right,
this
it's not
lead
going
in
to
here.
kill him because of the amperage. It's going to shot.
But it sure as hell gonna make your
scare
hair
the
stand
shit
up
out of
on it.
him. Yeah.
Oh my God, it'll skitter you back a few feet because you're going to jump 10 foot back just because
It's like
because
static
the asshole up
electricity.
there is pulling the trigger to get voltage to go down through it. If you're holding the leads wrong, and they always gave you the crappy leads the tips were always broken, you had to kind of hold them in place, and that's when they got you. Every new guy that they did that to.
Just so you know, I just remember. I don't know if you remember Saturday because I was drinking a little.
Saturday. Right? Yeah.
And
he had a little bit Saturday.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Was I drunk? Anyway, this is that. Wasn't I? I did the next day. Anyway, this is tequila, peanut butter tequila, and I just tasted it. Not even any ice. Just. And you know what?
Not that bad, huh?
It's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I actually like it.
Yeah, there
I've
you go.
definitely had peanut butter whiskeys that I hated, and I don't hate this.
Yeah, cool.
Weird. Peanuts can fix anything.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, they work great with chocolate.
Yeah.
You got chocolate in my peanut butter.
Right. Well, now you get chicken
peanut butter on my chocolate.
Wow.
Yeah.
I watched a video today about commercials, about how these things stay with us. Commercial. And it was very cool. I'm sorry.
That damn song you sang Saturday that you said is going to stick in your head. I thought about it all day yesterday, and I was humming it this morning when I got up. Like, what the? Bill,
what song was that again?
I don't know. I don't want to know. I can't
Baby
remember.
Shark.
No, it wasn't that one. No, it wasn't any of those. It was.
No,
I think
it
it was a Barry Manilow song. BJ Thomas.
Yeah, it was not Raindrops, but somebody
was the other one.
done
somebody wrong song.
That was it right there. God damn.
And make me feel at home. While I miss my baby.
Yeah, I was
While I
walking
miss
around today
my
thinking,
baby. I'm trying to make it
thought,
sound as much as
man,
like him as possible. So Lloyd, it actually sticks right in there.
yeah,
Yeah.
thanks a lot. Yeah,
Please
yeah.
The
play
earworms.
for me a sad
That's the part that kept
melody.
running through my head. Yeah.
So sad that it makes everybody cry. Look at you, Lloyd. Look, you're soaking it in.
No, I was trying to ignore it because I was
I don't want to cry.
yeah, so
Oh, that's a great song.
it is a good song, but it's not one you want to hear in your head over and over and over. You know, I had to
Steve, I
start.
used to like that song. Oh, you used to like that because I just
Yeah,
sang
you
it.
used to like that song.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
BJ Thomas was awesome. But anyway, this video I watched was all these different jingles from over the
Right.
years, and
Yep.
he's a media guy. Professor of Rock is
Yeah.
name.
Adam Ryder.
Right, Reader.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
And he was hitting these commercials. Like, God, I forgot about that one. Oh, I forgot about. Oh my God, I remember that one. You know, like
Winston,
you know what some of it is. He's younger than
like
me.
a cigarette should.
He does a lot of stuff that happened after my
Yeah.
when I was in my 20s. So it didn't really, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not my childhood commercial. You know, like he was doing Transformers. I mean, this was in the mid '80s, so I was young enough to see this crap because I had
Right.
children.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I want
an Oscar Mayer.
for all of you that don't realize the date, May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with
Yes.
you. Yep.
I thought of that. Now this is how bad it was. I got up this morning because we were getting ready to go up there, and I thought, oh, May the 4th be with you. And I've been making all these communicator badges. I thought, oh, I'll put that on there. And I put it on there and sat there for a few minutes. I went to put my pack of cigarettes in my pocket. Wait a minute. That's the wrong star. That's Star Trek.
Star
Dumbass,
Wars,
I put
Star
it off.
Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, you would have been laughed off the street.
yeah.
That-
It wasn't.
that-
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wrong.
You would have
But
been
if you look,
ridiculed.
yeah. And you look at this, see, that's the Vulcan sign right there, upside down. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Where's the beef?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He was
yeah.
doing lyrics, but yeah, that was famous. Huh?
Yeah.
Where's the beef? It still is. It's part of
Yeah,
our lexicon.
Professor
Some of these
Rock
ads
thing
became part of our list. How about "Give Me a Break"?
Give me
You know
a
how long
break.
that commercial has been since 1986?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We
Yeah,
still
Give
hear
me
it.
been
a
around.
piece of that Kit
Very
Kat
one of the most
bar.
successful ones in history.
That's
Because apparently they were losing their market share at the time that they came out with Folgers. Oh, best part of waking up
Waking up is Folgers
in your cup. They had dropped from 24% of market share to 23% of market share. They started that campaign, and within a year, they were up to 30% of market share.
Wow.
And how many decades ago is that? And you remember those commercials, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun.
That's
Pickles,
me.
onions on a sesame.
I could normally say that, but I am. Oh, I don't know. I would because I don't have my teeth. I'm having problems saying that. But today we went to the Outback Steakhouse for dinner. As we're walking out, James grabs a couple of toothpicks and says, "Hey, Dad, you want a toothpick?" And I just stopped like. He goes,
Yeah,
"Oh shit, sorry,
for
Dad."
that one tooth he's got.
Yeah, like really? There's none up here, and I said all these. I said this one, 3 of these are a part of a bridge, and the 4 in the front, they made them they molded them so tight together that nothing gets in between them, and these 2 over here, they're all crowns, so they made the crowns fit one right into the next to the other like a puzzle, so nothing gets in there. So it's like, no, I don't need a damn toothpick. But he said that and didn't even think about it because usually we'll both grab toothpicks on the way out. You know, Dad, you need a toothpick? I looked at him like, I go, finally, I just said, really? He says, yeah, I wasn't thinking, Dad.
Nestle
No
makes the very best chocolate.
Yeah, it doesn't get any simpler. It doesn't get any simpler than that.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, simple is better.
NSTLES, Nestle makes the very best.
Mhm.
Oh,
Always trust your
That
car.
Break Me Off the Kit Kat bar was number one.
star.
Do you know why he made it number one? Not because of his longevity. He said these all had stories behind them. Like every jingle that he brought up that was famous, there was a story behind them. The story behind that one was Hershey had already they already had a not them, but the company doing the advertising, company. Uh, they already had one, and Hershey already kind of knew about it, and it was already kind of approved. And what they needed was a knockoff one, a throwaway one so that you don't just walk in with one idea and that's it.
right. Yeah.
The idea is you show the one, it's okay. Nah, we don't want to do that. And then you hit them with what you really like, and it knocks their socks off because they're positioning. So they told this guy that don't ask me who, that he needed to come up with something, and he came up with it from the third floor. He got on the elevator, and he was on the third floor, and he came up with it by the first floor. So like 10 seconds, and he came up with "Give Me a Break, Break Me Off a Piece of That Kickback Cat Bar." It just came to him, going down this,
Yeah.
thinking that's the dumb. They said make it the dumbest thing ever, and that's what he tried to do. And they did it. They put it in front of focus groups first. That's what you do.
Right.
And they picked Give Me a Break. And then they put it through, and that can't be. It must be a one-off. And they put it through in front of another focus group, also picked Give Me a Break. They didn't want to believe it. They still presented Give Me a Break as the throw-off one to Hershey. And guess what Hershey wanted?
Hershey wanted to give me a break.
Give me a break. Isn't that amazing? Come up with an idea like that. And because that's probably one of the most successful advertising.
Brenda is in the chat.
Hershey had to build a whole nother factory to make Kit Kats after that. Swear to God, they exceeded their ability to produce. That's a successful ad.
Hello, Brenda. She's in the chat.
Hello, Brenda.
But she's in what chat? My chat's not doing anything.
Our chat.
Sorry, Charlie. Only good.
He's in our chat. Yeah, yeah.
There she is. Oh, I'm looking at the YouTube chat.
Yeah. Okay.
Brenda was here earlier, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
I think I forgot to say hello to her when she came in. So hello, Brenda.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
I know.
Yelling, "Hey, Brenda!"
Yeah, no. I. That's why when I saw her name, I like. Yeah, there's been some really like the Oscar Mayer Wiener song. I mean, that one's been. Wish I was an Oscar Mayer Wiener. Yeah.
Do you know how you get a vacation? Can I tell you a story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are we going to continue? Because it's been an hour and 4 minutes.
Oh, yes.
We'll continue on a little bit longer. Yeah,
it's not all that interesting. It's just about it's a personal thing. You know how you're rushing to get to work, and sometimes you forget some stuff. And
right.
I kind of make a joke about it because I only my name tag. I never forget it because when I kiss my wife goodbye to go to work, she says, "Name tag." I'm going in for the kiss. She goes, like she's my manager.
Your manager, yeah.
Name tag. So she's just
start.
I was getting ready for work this morning. She left before me today because we push our hours back. Now we don't open till noon, and I had plenty of time because I thought I'd go in a little early because the delivery guys might come, whatever. But I wasted a lot of it. But I was in no hurry. And I'm walking to the door, and I actually went back into my bedroom a second time because I left a vape here, and I grabbed that, and I went back out the door a second time on my way out, and I looked down because my wife's not here. I looked down to check my name tag, and you know what?
It was on your.
I didn't have a shirt on.
Oh my God,
dude! I was in the living room. I was on my way home. I grabbed my glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I wasn't wearing my name tag.
It's Peter Griffin.
That's kind of scary. Actually.
Well, it's like this afternoon. We went to this tobacco shop. Well, they've got a smoking area in there, because they've got an open smoking tobacco lounge. So we're in there to pick up these cigar boxes. We got all the wooden ones that they have. And because I'm going to make guitars and he's going to make, jewelry boxes and, catch-all boxes.
Little casks for dead animals.
Yeah, little, shit like that. So and we were getting them for $1 a piece, so we grabbed them, and I got 24 and he got like 40 of them. But anyways, so we put them all in these big giant trash sacks and take them out to the van. Well, by the time I got out of that place, I started coughing. I mean, the tobacco smoke, because we're talking pipe and cigar tobacco, and it was pretty thick in there, and it was getting to me. So I get into so I've got my own keys. I've got my own uh
Car
keys.
keys,
Well, it's my truck, so I've
truck
got the
keys.
keys to
Yeah.
it, and he's got his own
Like a big boy. Okay.
like a big boy. So he's loading these 3 sacks of cigar
Boxes.
boxes in the back of the truck, and I unlock the thing and I get in there, but I can't hardly breathe. Plus the allergies have been terrible. So I'm digging around for my huffer, and I
Inhaler.
don't have one. Yeah, my inhaler or my huffer, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't have one, and so I opened up the uh center console, and I'm looking around in there. I didn't find one. Finally, it settled down enough. Well, we get out, and he unloads my sack, and I said, just carry it to the front porch, and I'll take it in the house. And then I get up there, and I ain't got no damn house keys because I ain't got my car keys. We hunted all over the truck. Finally, he says, well, Dad, I'm going to have to go next door to get your house key because I don't carry it on my keychain. So he drives next door, and that's when it hit me. Wait a minute. I unlocked the truck.
In the
That
truck door?
means no, that's what I'd actually looked there thinking that's where it was, but no. I
Mhm.
set it in the center console when I was looking for the huffer, and then I closed the console and forgot about it. So I walked back over to his house. I said, "Hey, son, before you come back over here, look in the truck console." He goes, "What? Look in the truck console." And he looks in there. He goes, "Oh shit, Dad! I thought you was going to have to call him. We was going to have to go back up to Tulsa tomorrow or sometime to get him." Uh, you know, or I honestly thought I went to put him in my pockets, and they
You just described pretty much a daily occurrence for me, my friend. Forgetting that I'm not wearing a shirt, I think
Yeah.
took it
yeah,
to
that was pretty bad. Yeah, that
took
was
it to
pretty bad.
I
Yeah,
had pants on though.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I will come in the house and not be able to find my vape every day or my phone. You
Yeah.
know, and I'm like, well,
There you go. Can't
I
go to
locked the
work.
truck. Truck keys can't be in it. Came in here with it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sometimes I filled the damn vape, and I still can't find it. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. So my wife, it gives her great joy to make fun of me when she helps me find things.
I tell you what, his memory is far worse than mine because I have my pills set up to take a certain way. He says I had to start putting them in individual things and making sure I had it set up for each day and each
Sure.
morning, noon, and night. And I said, yeah, I said I used to do that. I said, but it got to be a pain in the ass. I said, so your mother had her own thing and I had my because I OD'd Judy one night. I gave her my about killed her. I gave her my high blood pressure medicine, and she has low blood pressure. Uh,
Oh, wow.
yeah, she
Jeez.
bottomed out. Yeah, she bottomed out. And we called an ambulance. They came and picked her up and took her. She was in the hospital for 3 days. That was funny. It was just before her 70th birthday. She said I was trying to bump her off before she turned 70. And so no, I wasn't. But anyways, uh, but anyways, yeah. So he was telling me what all it goes through because he's diabetic, so he has to take these tablets, so he has this little thing that he made, and he knows that he puts 5 days in. He puts it in his uniform pocket. He doesn't take it out until the end of the week, you know, and then that's when he fills it up, you know. And it's like, damn, son, you can't remember to take that. He says, no. I said, I take mine every night. But his memory says, I need something for memory. I said, Previsit. I say it. Art.
Prevagen.
Yeah,
Prevagen.
say it right, Art.
It's
Prevagen. Yeah,
Prevagen. Yeah.
that's
See, I
like
couldn't say it because of my damn teeth.
reciprocity.
He goes, what? And I said, Prevagen. And I said, don't ask me to say it a third time, damn it. Look it up. And I said, just buy
Yeah,
that.
that's called
Yeah.
reciprocity.
There's no reason with that. See, the fact is, I take the same 3 pills every night. So if I
Right.
and I still forget to take them, so I don't
Yeah.
need a pill thing because I don't take different pills on different days at different times of the day.
Right. Yeah.
But if I did, yes, I would definitely have one of those freaking things because then
Well,
somebody's like, "Oh,
he
I remember taking it." No, you're remembering yesterday. You know what I mean? I do that
Mhm.
all. That.
well, he ended up one night. What he ended up doing was taking 2 nights. He took pills twice
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
because he forgot he'd taken them earlier in the day, earlier in the
I don't have
evening.
anything that dangerous that taking them twice
Yeah.
would hurt me.
Well, I don't know what he takes, but I'm sure that apparently it bothered him enough that he
Mm.
made himself a so he's keeping track of it. But yeah, it's like no, I know by because I put my stuff in a cup and I keep
Hey, Curtis.
Hey,
yeah.
Kurt.
Hello, Curtis. Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about cigars.
Nope.
I know,
Nope.
but they have some. There's some. The guy was telling us today it's cost him $12 to make one of these boxes,
Oh,
and he sells them for $1. Well, $2 if you just buy one up to 20, but after 20, it sells them for a
wait.
dollar a
It
box.
costs him $12 to make them, and then he sells them for $1. They
Yeah.
were used
He
in the
doesn't
meantime,
make
right?
them. He make them. The company makes them. But he sells the cigars individually out of the boxes and makes more than enough money to pay for the
Ah,
box
there
and
you
everything.
go.
All right,
He
then
just wants the damn thing out of the way.
he's
So
not paying anything for the cigars
yeah, he's
boxes.
not paying anything for them boxes. But he
No.
says that's what it costs the company to have them built.
Well, they're just separating the price to make it look like they're charging less for the cigars. It's
Yeah.
horseshit.
But he makes enough profit off of it. He says, I just want them out of there. And James has just been up there a couple weeks ago and picked up uh 40 of them then, and he still of just the wooden ones, and he had another 60 of them today, and we left a few because there's a couple of them we just didn't want. But yeah,
You should
but
send some to Art. He can make little beds for his little dolls and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, Curtis, I bet you it does. He says it smells great in the
Well,
fireplace.
and they make little beds for the mice that Lloyd has running around in his
Yeah,
house.
well, I want them to sleep nicely,
Yeah,
I
there
want them to
you
have a
go.
nice place to sleep.
Yeah, that
Little
way the
bastards.
chihuahuas have a friend to play with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't mind the damn mice as long as they quit bringing them to bed when they kill them. So,
Yeah.
oh, I was going to tell you guys. I was telling Art before the show. I bought this game chair 2 years. A little. I bought it around November, December of 24.
I remember when
And
you got it, actually.
right, the
Yep.
arms of it are already just destroyed on this one side,
Mhm.
and the wheels. They're those double wheels. They've started popping apart, and it's like, what the hell? I am,
Maybe
you know,
you
I,
need to
I
go
now
on a
mind you, I
diet.
only spent $100 for it, but I'm still, well, I spent $89. I'm not buying another one, so I ordered some new wheels, but I got the big wheels, and I ordered some material, not material, but they've got material on them, and they're foam pads that you can strap down on top of them, and it's comfortable. I got those on here now, so and it
Cool.
puts my arm at just exactly the right height to reach
Yep.
over for my mouse. But yeah, but
Charles, remember
James
when I
says,
bought this?
Yep.
No, you recommend it's a couple of years, isn't it?
Well, got to be at least, yeah.
At least a couple of
yeah,
years. Yeah, it's holding up good.
Yep.
yeah, mine
It's
mine is
And mine's
just
under more
wearing out.
stress than yours is, homie.
Oh yeah, I know. This cheap son of a bitch. I mean, it's a GT player, but it's uh, I won't buy another one.
yeah.
But it's got
This
the fake leather on it, and
this
that's the shit
chair I
that
got $6. Yep.
well, what I almost ordered one, and that was a full leather executive
Ooh.
uh uh office chair,
Mm-hmm.
with that has the
Full grain leather.
rockers.
What kind of
Yeah,
leather?
no, it's full grain leather.
The whole
But
thing.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
but it fucking
Corinthian.
Sometimes they just do the surfaces you touch, and then
no, it was full grain leather all the way through.
Ah,
where is this
Yeah.
chair?
Huh? I was actually going to order it through Home Depot.
How much is
It was
it?
like $400.
Doesn't sound like a full grain leather chair. That should be more
Well,
like
that's what it
1,200
said.
bucks.
That doesn't mean that it is. You know, they lie about
Mm.
shit. So
No, it could be, but
Mhm.
that's not a. It's a
yeah,
pretty good price.
it is a good price. That's why I almost ordered it. So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'm just going to replace the wheels. So they came in today. So I got that to replace. And I got single wheels and I got the larger casters with metal casters instead of plastic
Oh, there you
casters
go.
on them. You know, that's the problem with these things, these plastic ones. I get, because I scoot around a lot because I have to turn around to play my guitar amp over here and I have to scoot back to pull my amps out from under the table, depending on which guitar I'm playing. So, yeah.
You'll be the master caster.
Well, now you could just open up that belt and have whatever you want.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
There you
Done it
go.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, again.
Actually, yes, I am drinking coffee.
Mhm.
Curtis, he hadn't been here since we called it Grumpy's. Changed it to Grumpy's Coffee Shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it working again?
Yeah, it's working again.
Okay.
Quit doing that funny action with
I
your
got
hands. You're
coffee
kind
too.
of you got coffee too, see?
I had
Bill's
coffee.
got a coffee cup.
No, it was coffee.
Oh, was
Most,
it? Okay.
most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Most of it. Yeah.
I'm out of liquid refreshment. Are we going to stay on a little bit longer? Or are we going?
I gotta get going, guys.
You gotta
Yeah, I
get
think
going.
it's time
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll go ahead and call it a
Time to
show.
call it. Time to pack it
Follow
in.
the show.
It's
Yep.
bedtime. So, all
Yep.
right, guys. Thanks everybody who stuck with us, and thanks and glad a lot of you showed up. I hadn't seen in a while. So,
Yeah.
and thank the panel for being here, and we will see you guys next week. Don't forget art show on Thursday at 3 Conservative Games with the three of us over here, right here. And then Art does a show on Friday. Uncle Bill's on Saturday with 4 out of the 5 of us here.
Yep.
And then I'll be back next Monday. So, all right, guys, with that, y'all have a safe and wonderful week. We'll talk at you later.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
folks.
Bye-bye.
He's a time machine wrapped in plaid and scorn. A man of the day, but yesterday sworn. With every gripe, there's a wink of clue that the world's still good if you find your view. The grumpy vodka's got a